This is my screen, and my name is Desmond. So for the next 40 minutes or 45 minutes, I'm going to show you with a lot of examples so that you have a better understanding what you actually can achieve with this Wolfram knowledge-based engine compared to what you have as a normal search engine. Right? So in the era of massive digital informations, all of us, every day we are using this so-called internet database search engine or information engine on a daily basis, whether it's for assignment, project, or even just for fun. And for the search engine to service us the many thousands of searches per second by all of us, billions and billions of web pages have to be crawled by the search engine. Okay, like Google search engine is a very powerful tool, but internet is really a huge place, and it changes every second. And it is sometimes hard to find what we are actually looking for. We often get many pages of search result links with links of websites or advertised websites and pictures, videos, and a lot of it, and which have the keywords that we search. And those sometimes we don't normally end up, we have to search again within the search result by crawling through the result link one by one, and just to filter out the right information for our project or assignment. And sometimes that could be quite frustrating. Today, I would like to share with you with the knowledge-based engine, the Wolfram engine, a popular tool used by a lot of academia, especially among students in the Western country. Is very common. They use it for their assignments, daily works, or school projects. So, Wolfram knowledge-based engine is actually a computational knowledge engine, or we say answer engine, developed by Wolfram Research. And it generates expert-level answers and relevant visualizations to the answer in real time, to the question in real time, by doing computation from a knowledge base of curated, structured data that come from other sites, or books and published papers. It got a citation that you actually can find out where the source came from. And rather than just providing a list of documents or web pages that might contain the keyword that as a normal search engine do, Wolfram engine actually make all the knowledge summarized systematically and immediately computable and accessible to their user, to us. So what can we do with Wolfram knowledge-based engine? We will be shown how to get info on general concept and specific topics. You can use it for classroom lesson planning, create visual presentations, handouts, and most importantly, auto-solve problems for many subjects. Example in maths, physics, chemistry, bio, health, medicine, finance, economy, engineering, work, linguistics, geoscience, lots of them. So, okay, enough talking. We straight away go to the example. Let me open some of you might worry, if I don't have the license, how can I access this search engine? So I'm going to show with you the web-based free search engine. So if you have the browser, let me switch to the browser. All right. So this is the website that everyone can access without license. It's called wolfram.com. So you just type WOLFRAMALPHA. If you have access right now, you can go to this website. So once you access to this website, you can see this is a enter area that you can key in anything you want to search, you want to calculate, just key in here, just like normal what you do in your Google search engine. But there's a much more you can do here. For instance, you can look for, let's say, general concept. You want to know about derivative, let's say for mathematics, just like something like this. And this is for a general concept. So it actually came out with a lot of summarize and the picture visual. It actually came out with the functions to differentiate. So you actually use an example to show what is differential with all the calculation, the computations, the plot, and explanation, parabola, the roots, and so on. And they are very flexible. You can always change even the input and straight away it compute. Do again in real time for all the visual and change in real time. And those are the things you can just use it, enlarge it, download it, or you can see the step-by-step solutions. Of course, this is a free versions. My one is a pay version. I already got the license. So I got some feature that you might not be able to access, but for normal free version, you will see all this as well. Just that you probably don't have the access to the step-by-step solutions. Okay, that is the difference between the previous pay version. So enough for this, I come back to the medical software. If you don't have a software, you still can access from here. There's still a lot of things you can get, but I will demonstrate with you with the medical software so you have a better idea what you can have for those already have the license. Okay? So we come back to our software. All right. So this is how it looks like. When you first launch Mathematica, you will have something like this. It's a workspace, empty workspace. So if you already have this installed, how do you enter the power of query or the search knowledge base engine? So this is the input line. You'll see a plus sign at the top left here. So just click on the plus sign and select the third one, Wolfram Alpha query. It's the same like what I shown you in the website just now, but now they unlock more features, so it's more powerful inside here. So let's say I click here, then you can start typing like we have just now, derivative. Just enter. You will call all the information like what you see in the web base just now. But now you have unlocked all the features. So including step-by-step solutions. If I click on it, you actually show all the steps how you get the answer for these equations. You see. And a lot of things like even a plot, they are interactive. You can just right click, save a picture if you want. And there's a lot of information as well. Like let's say, what is the global minimums, what is the indefinite integral. You still can click on step-by-step solution to explore all of them. Okay? This is one of the example. Let me show you the example I have prepared. So I don't need to wait, we don't need to wait for the time for it to compute. Let me open my example. Okay. Here we are. So I have prepared some example for different topics so you have a better understanding. So derivative, you can get a concept with example. And secondly, if I type a map, you get the general map for the world country, and not only with the map, you give a lot of statistics. For instance, if I just type map, what we get? Actually, you came out, say all the possible things with the map. Maybe make it larger so you can have a better view. So if I just type map, you show me that you can actually get like the country map, Argentina or multiple countries together in a world map, or life expectancies, for example, local map for certain city, landmark, street, elevation maps for the mountains or high rise or projections map, a lot of things. But let's say I want to be more specific. I can just type, how about GDP world map? I can get something. Of course, we also can get all this information in the normal search engine, but there is much more. It's not only giving the map, but we also extract the relevant information, the relevant knowledge, and put in a statistic for us to use it if you are using for the studies project. There's much more. For instance, you not only get the map with a heat map of the GDP, you can see there will be also other options, whether the GDP by populations or by the country area, or just a normal GDP per country. You can choose, and you can show all the statistics. You will see that the statistic for all the country. Okay? And if you further down, you have came out with all the information, mean, median, max, total country, 233, calculate. And you can click more to explore more information on this GDP map that we just typed in. So it's very handy compared to what you have in your browser. You probably have to go through a lot of paragraph, pages, website in order to extract all the tabular data like this. This is the comparison. The other thing is like the next example, I want to show animal. So if you go for animal, actually you do an auto tabular comparison. For instance, if I go, if you just type animal, you can go for specific species and some fact about animal species, how far I can jump, how fast can giraffe run, and so on. But we also have something auto comparison by multiple species. Let's say I just click on this example. Okay. Puma, lion, red fox. So actually, if I type a few different species which are relevant to each other, they actually will tabulate and compare all of them. You see that it actually compare these three input, then they give a scientific name, and it also give the alternate scientific names. Okay? And it give the common name. For mountain lion, you call it puma, you call it cougar, you call it mountain lion, mountain cat. And you see their taxonomy, where their family came from. They came from all same kingdom, same phylum. They came from the same class, but then it's same order. Then start from a family is red fox divert to Canidae, genus and species. And also they are tabulate, compare the bio property. So like their lifespan, their maximum record lifespan, their length, their weight, their head and body length, and also maybe the tail length and their eyeball diameter, and also with the image comparisons, and also there are others like species authorities and the taxonomics network. All those they extract out, and if you are doing research, it is very handy. You get all these things. And let's say if I like this picture, what I do, just right click, save the graphic as, and you can save to any format you want. PDF, PMP, EPS, GIF, JPEG, and PNG, lots of them. Okay, so you can easily make use of all those information from what you search directly download. Okay? Next, it's not only doing comparison or you can just search general idea. You can straight away ask and say, what is the 10 nearest star from Earth? And enter. The only requirement for this software to run in this search, of course, is the internet connections. And how fast it returns also depend on your connection speed. But it should be quite straightforward. And you see, you straight away understand we're looking for 10 nearest star and distance from Earth. Okay, so the result 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are much more. So if you click on the more here, you show all 10 of them. The nearest is Sun, followed by Proxima Centauri, 4.22 light year. And also then the property, the statistic property for all the 10 stars, medium, highest, lower distribution, their magnitude, effective temperature, the mass, and so on. And even with the diagram, okay, the temperature, the comparison, and their physical size comparison. The Sun, Bernard star, Latin star, and all 10 of them, you click more. And also it's showing us the current sky position from where I access right now, Kuala Lumpur. If I look above my sky, I will discover this few stars right above me. The rest is on the other side of the Earth. Okay? So the altitude, azimuth, and next rise, all is given just by typing the search. You sort all these things out directly for us. Okay? And that's for the general concept. Let's say you're looking for a specific topic. For instance, if I'm doing mathematics, let's say I need to know sine x, or I'm going to explain what is sine x to the class. Let's say I am a teacher, explain to a high school student. You can just type sine x, give the plot. Okay, you can play around with the minimum, maximum. It gives us an alternate form. The roots, you can click if you want to have the step-by-step solutions. You have all the properties, have the functions. You can get the series expansion when the x is 0, there's an answer. Okay? And you can derive it, integrate, and identities. and you can find the global maximum, global minimum. Even I can just click on step-by-step solution for how to find out this global minimum. So it show me, okay, possible immediate step, intermediate step. Find and classify the global extrema of following function. It's not just showing the step by next, what's the next step, but also with the detailed explanation in wording. So the user can be better understand what is actually happening for the next step. So it is for self-learning or cross-check your works is very handy. Okay? It's very helpful for self-studies or even for the teacher to prepare, you can double-check your answer and the steps. Alternate representation for sign X, series representations. You see, just by tapping a sign X, all the relevant thing is calling out. Okay? And lastly, the visual for the geometric curve. Okay? Next, let's say you are involved in chemistry or anyone want to know about the methane or element. You can just type in the chemistry thing. You're not only showing the name, but give the formulas, the structure diagrams, the 3D structure. You can even see, or if you want, you can go, show me the bond only. Okay? Or you can show me a space filling model. Okay? And you can also zoom in, zoom out, or rotate it. You can show all the graph property for these structure diagrams. Okay? Show me how many vertex was found, or the age was found. And also, if you want, you can click step by step how to draw this structure diagram as well. Okay? This step by step is not only applicable to the mathematics, but a lot of things. And the basic properties, liquid properties, thermodynamic property is all in a tabular format, easy for you straight away to extract and use for your research and paper. And like I mentioned just now, one thing different with other search engine is Wolfram can do a lot of auto comparison. So for instance, this is methane. Let's say you say, okay, how about if I want methane to compare to alcohol? On the wrong input line. Oh, I typed the wrong word. Okay, methane and ethanol. So you see, they straight away put in the side by side in the same table, compare in the same line. So even the structure diagram is very handy. We can compare a lot of things. If your project, your assignment is asking you to compare something like this, you're already done. You get everything here, right? That's a secret weapon. All right, this is for the chemical element. And we can do also like, let's say you're looking for certain building structures. For example, I use KLCC building. You just type KLCC, you get the basic locations, information. If we search KLCC building in normal search engine, probably you get a lot of description, pictures. But if you want straight over to the key works of the basic information in a tabular format, summarized format, this is the thing you probably want to look for. Okay, and who is the designer, the engineer, structure engineer is all summarized here with the image, showing the locations, the local map as well, and their important history date, okay, and their nearby notable building, and the current local time. I didn't run it, I ran it last time. If I run it again, it will show the current local time and the current weather. Okay? You get the real-time information. Let me show you the real-time information. Let's say I run it right now to find out the wind speed at Shah Alam. So if I ask the query, at this moment you will run. See, the latest result you get is 1 meter per second, which is taken an hour and 25 minutes ago. And it also show me the history and the forecast for the current week, okay? June 20th until the June 26th. Then you can also click to see the past week, past month, past year, even all the information that have gathered in this server. Okay, you can see everything. And also, if you're looking for a research project, you can download all the data into the CSV or Excel for your own purpose for your own report purpose or for research purpose. All information can be just downloaded like that. And you show me where the information that taken this info. This is the weather informations. They're actually taking this Shalom speed. And you might wonder all the information I shown you just now, if I want to get the citations, where can I look for that? Where do I know, how do I know where the resource came from? You can click on every output at the very top bottom right. There will be a link. You click on this one to show you where the source information came from. If you click on each of these, you bring you to the website, list down all the reference link or the books or everything or the contributor, all the information will be there. Okay, so you can try to click on this source informations and you can use it for your research report, no problem at all. And not only you can search for this information, whether real time or generic or specific info, you can also use a lot of visual that create from this knowledge base engine and export to other presentation or handout or assignment. For instance, if you want to plot two curves in one graph so that you can use it for your output, you can just create these two curves. So just like that, they plot this and that. Or maybe I can just simply add in another one. So I can plot three lines, say x equal to 3. Okay, I run it. So you plot the 3 lines inside one graph and you can make use of the graph right away. Okay. I can just right click. And if you want to add in the arrow key or the text or anything, you can select the drawing tool. There will be a lot of options for you to add in the arrow, to add in the works, colors, all those things, so that you can make use of it, and then you just save the graphic for your usage purpose. So it's very handy to create any graph. And let's say I want to get a Malaysia population chart. Okay. You can get it not only the chart, but get all the statistics, all the long-term population history chart, projections, then also some very handy like age distributions for male and female. You can just download the whole thing. Where's the population for larger city. And for the mathematics, maybe I want to get the graphic for tetrahedrons. You can get a visual for this regular tetrahedron. You can rotate or you zoom in, zoom out, and you can save all these things for own use. And their properties, geometric properties, formulas, is all given. Okay? It's all here in a summarized form. And also, maybe something not really very technical thing, like even like cartoon or even like movies, style, Iron Man versus Spider-Man. They do the comparison for us as well. Like their species, their genders, their names, who is the author, or who is the play, the people that play. So those are the family member of the Iron Man and Spider-Man, their partners, their notable plays, or their creators. All the information is here as well. So very handy compared to just reading all the wording. It might take you a few minutes to do this, but everything is the tabular form. It's very handy. And for maybe for bio thing, human eyeball, you want to have a visual for your classroom or for the assignment or for a human heart, brain, you can just type this. Not only giving you the visual, but it gives the all technical, the functional description, functional categorized, hierarchy relationships. Okay, you will see the morphology on the right, left, top, bottom, front. You can rotate all of them and their regional locations, body locations, and the physical characteristic of the eyeball, constitutional part, and the circulatory system that connect to it, nervous system that connect to eyeball. It's all given and in a very technical but in a very precise summarized form. Okay? And the disease that associate, the disease code that associate with eyeball, all here. Okay? And not only for all those coding, you can do a lot of visual uh, uh, changes as well. If I go to website, I can also copy and paste or cut any picture or drag inside here, and you can easily do a lot of visual editing right away. Just right click or click on the more here. Let's say you want to looking for the edge detections or maybe invert color. Just apply, you'll get your output right away. So for applying, so you get your visual, very handy, and change all these things. And then just save it, use it for your other purpose. Okay, so you have this software. It's not only just a normal search engine, but it do a lot of things for us. And the most important thing is it solve problem for a lot of subjects. Like for instance, I start with the mathematics. I still remember when during my study time, I always start in the math problem because I don't know how to go to the next step and start there. And need helps, but I don't know who to ask. But with Wolfram knowledge-based search engine, it show us all the step by step, like we already see earlier example. But for instance, I show you another example. Integrate x power of 2 sine x power of 3. Integrate. So get the step-by-step solution. This is the answer. If I click on this, it will be very detailed, and no matter whether it's 2-step or 20-step, it's all showing. If I click on here, wait for it to run for a while, then you say, okay, first, the possible intermediate step, take the integral. Second, for the integrand, use the trigonometry identity, and expand it, and you see how many steps. If we want to do it by our own, we might have missed somewhere, and we don't know where the problem is. You have to go through all the steps, and that is something very tiring. With this, you actually can go through one by one and double check your work until you get the final answer. This is really, really one thing very handy. If I have this during my study, that was so great. And the alternate form of the integral is given as well. And alternate form assume that x is larger than 0. And there's a lot of other things for mathematics, derivative of cos x, sine x. Okay? You get all the visual. Okay. Next. Not only solving a normal the calculations, but there's a lot of other possible ways. For this one, maybe I show you this. If there are different method of solutions to solve the equation, you will be given the option to choose what method you want to solve with the step by step. Let me see if this one do have. Probably we don't have all these. Yeah, but if the equation can be solved in different method, you give you the options to choose how you want to solve with the equations. And the following mathematics is not only solving equation, you can just type like, what is the probability of 8 successes in the 14 trials with the probability success is 0.6. Okay? You can see all the interpret, it straight away give us the probability of occurrence. Okay, the statistic, and this is how the result. And you can get exponential fit all these 6 points. You do it for us right away, the data with the exponential, you fit for us. This is how it looks like. And even like say, you can ask a question, is the x intercept y a subset of y? Yes, the result is true, and give her the Venn diagram. So a lot of things you can ask. Okay? But it's up to you. You can see more example in the Wolfram Alpha website that I showed you earlier. There is a lot of example that you have a better idea what you can do. And next, for the physics is not only just solving equations, but you can put in the whole questions. If I have a spring pendulum question with the initial length, equivalent length 0.12, initial length 0.24 meter, and the angle is 80 degree. And then they will automatically generate an application for us to key in, just like a calculator. Now you can key in the spring constant, the mass, the time, and then it read all the input informations, give me the result right away, and the equations for these problems. Everything is given. You see. And not only that, it show me the schematic drawing and trajectory, how it moves. Okay? Everything is here. So if you are using for a physics problem, this is very handy. It solves a lot of things. Illustrate collisions. Just put in your initial value, input value. You do it for us. And most importantly, all the units, they can auto convert for us, or you can select more unit, what unit you want for the result, and also the equation that involve and the schematic, and so on. And for chemistry, there's a lot of enhancements start from these versions. A lot of things can be asked, like what is melting point of alkaline earth metal? Okay. What is the alkaline earth metal? Showing us with the atomic number from 0 to 100 and something. And these are the 6 elements we find out. And then you put the ranking, auto sort it, with 6 elements, and also the statistic for these 6 elements as well. Auto convert and put in a tabular format. And if I have a chemistry equations, sometimes it is very difficult for me to actually to balance it for the chemistry equation, but this we do it for us. The balance equations, you also can see a step by step how to balance these equations, right? And also you show us the stoichiometric equation with how many volumes involved for this to generate the output, the yield, everything is here. You can show all steps, balance the chemical equation algebraically, add stoichiometric coefficient, show me until I get the answer. That's cool, right? You get everything and structures for all the elements, the name, their reaction thermodynamic, equivalence constant, the formula for all the elements, blah, 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 is all given. Very handy. And you also can say, if I want to get this molarity of 0.33 mole sucrose in 355 milliliter water, how should I actually combine, or how do I prepare the solutions? It's all here, right? Prepare the 250 milliliter of 2 mole HCl from concentrated HCl. So how should I prepare? The result is dilute 41.32 milliliter of concentrate hydrogen chloride to a final volume of 250. See? It's so handy. And you can see all the steps, how to prepare, by the plan, the initial volume. Everything, every detailed step is given. Okay? It's so good. And for biology, you can just type in any component or anything. So let's say I just want to find out what is the radius and what is the luna and how they look like and how they compare. You can key in the name, they give the alternate name, they get the functional descriptions, hierarchy relationships, okay? And also, of course, the visual. What is radius, what's luna? They are the locations, regional location. No, these are the bone, okay? So the body location as well. So their constitutional part, connection to the muscular skeleton system, and so on. And you can compare. Is something good about this is easily compare a lot of things. You can compare energy stage 11, energy stage 12, how it looks like. So the difference. And heart, yeah, I will just skip this one. Let's say we go to a health and medicine. You can find all the ICD-9 code or 10 code for certain disease, all recorded. Okay? ICD-9 is 440, ICD-10 is I25.1. So this is the disease and how many fraction of male and female in US statistic, and all given. Let me show you one of example, which is very common disease in Malaysia, probably like diabetic. So for diabetic, if you just go and type this and search this in our search engine, you get a lot of information, how to cure, how to do this, what to do there, the descriptions. But sometimes if you want to go for more technical informations, it might be quite headache because there are too many information out there. If you want to do a report, a summarize, it might not be that easy. In Wolfram search engine, everything is in it already auto summarize out systematically for us. For example, a short definitions, okay, medical code, the common cause, 3 words only: obesity, lack of exercise, genetic. Typical treatment: insulin, healthy diet, exercise. Yeah, how good is it? Summarize everything here, and still loading. Currently, my file got some problem of loading. Let me. Yeah, I just skipped that. It hang just now. And for the help and these medicines, you also can get all the comparison or calculation. Let's say the peak urine flow with a volume of 640 milliliter. You came out the kidney functions formulas to calculate all these things. The peak urine flow rate calculate for us, and also expiratory calculations. You can just type the question for 16-year-old male for the expiratory flow 7.6 liter per second, and you can do all the calculation. Input with their different height and give us all the information. Okay. And for finance and economics, it's very handy. Let's say I'm looking for Dow Jones component. The Dow Jones Index US, they got 30 components, 30 members. You can see all of them here. And they give a summarize for that market capitalizations, earning per share in the statistic, medium, highest, lowest, PE ratios, and the top 20 ranking by returns in the last 2 years. And you can also select if they are last year, last 5 years, last 10 years, you can see how good they perform compare each other with the auto sort ranking. It is very handy. You can do the option pricing calculations, and you can find out maybe certainly like how's the government spec consumption in South Africa, how's the export costs in Singapore versus Malaysia, if the statistic is available from some government reliable resources, they'll be here. You will find it here easily. If you Google search, you might not be able to get all this, but from server, you actually got access to a lot of those informations. Of course, you can check on the resources, it will show you where it came from. But here it's very handy. You see the Singapore, Malaysia export cost. Malaysia is 525 USD compared to Singapore with 460 in the 2014 estimate. And with a visual and some other shipping informations. If you're doing for economics or for something research, it is some very handy informations. Even the world ranking for Malaysia and Singapore is all given here. Okay, you can do some easy conversions or calculations or just type like that, you get all. If you are doing for engineering, you see example, I want to find the velocity of water hammer with pressure difference 20 ATM. You can just type this. It gives me a application, a calculator came out. So what to calculate? Calculate velocity of fluid, or you want to calculate the inlet pressure or bulk closing time, you can just click in different calculations. You change the input field for us. So you can fill in differently. Then you have input informations. And one thing about it is you can mix and match with any unit. Wolfram engine know to auto convert it. Instead of 2 feet, you can put 2 meter or 2 cm. or this one, you can change any unit, they auto compute, no problem. It is intelligent enough to do all these things, and those are the equations involved. Okay? And if you are involved in the linguistic, right? If I want to write a poem, a song, I want to find the words that rhyme with demand this word, you can create what words came with something same rhythms with the remand, like bang, gang, hand, lang, all these are given. You can click more, it shows total 32 of them. Okay? So you can easily find all these things, right? Okay? And even like you want to find a word that contain these these four alphabet, A-L-L-A, so those are the English words given. For geoscience, you want to find a scientific travel time from certain city to another city, you can just create and then you ask for input like the depth for the hypocenter. Okay? You just key in the center and then you calculate the P wave travel time, S wave travel time, the distance between these two cities, and you get all these things. Even like you can go, what is the road type for Malacca today? Okay? You can get the real-time informations. Show me, okay, in Malacca, road types for today, Tuesday. One, it happened at 4:09 a.m. The second time will happen at 3:27 p.m. Two of them. Okay, this is very handy. It's all here. Range of type, average height type, station where record this is all given, and some other information as well. Okay, I think with the time is almost 10:50, so this will be the last few slides. If you are from this 4 university, whether you're lecturer or students, as long as you got a university email domain like .usm.my or .utp.edu.my, you got this, you can access, request a free personal license. You don't need to pay a single cent, okay, through this link. If you are not from this 4 university, you probably from other university, but they don't have a campus license. They probably have a smaller group of lab license. You can still go to your department and ask. If they don't have those, you probably can get the free full functional 30-day license from here, from this link. You can access to all of them. But if you want to go more after these 30 days, there'll be options like I showed you earlier. You can access through the wolframalpha.com. Of course, they will be less functional, but it's still good enough for a normal assignment or a project. If you are interested in a student license for this medical card, if you are not from this 4 university and interested in to get your personal student license, you can email to us, talk to us. We'll give you a special pricing for that as well. All right. So I think that's about it.